What is going on, Facebook family and YouTube family and TikTok family? This is Ruben Escalona with Red Alpha Custom Prints with another episode of the Red Alpha Mugshot Monday podcast. We are streaming live to as many social media channels that we can. Right now, we're doing on the main camera. We're broadcasting live to our Red Alpha Facebook page. So for those of you who are out there that are not connected to our Facebook page, like if you're on TikTok and you want to see the main thing so that you can hear all the sound effects and all that stuff, you can find us on Facebook at Red Alpha Custom Prints. That's CUSTOMPRINTS, Red Alpha Custom Prints on Facebook, or if you're connected, or on YouTube, we're at Red Alpha Custom Prints Abilene on YouTube. So connect with us there. On TikTok, sorry, I'm going live, but sometimes, like if we have a guest, you can't hear what the guest is saying on TikTok, and it's only because I haven't been able to connect my TikTok account to the Riverside live stream app, and I think I need to get my followers up, or I need to figure that out. And honestly, we've been so busy that I haven't had a chance to really figure that out. I'm assuming that the answer is just going to come to me. That's just the way things work, right? So it's like I don't try to force it. I just think about it every now and then, and I think that little by little the answer will come up and it'll pop up like on a note card or an idea. I'll dream about it, or somebody's going to comment in the they're going to make a comment in the comment section and say, hey, this is how you do it, and then we're going to have it good to go. But as far as it goes right now, as far as it stands right now, I haven't figured that out. And right now, through the Riverside live stream, we only have our Facebook page and our YouTube page connected. I'm going solo today because my wife is on the grind this morning. She's printing out some. She's working on some vests on an order that came in last week, and they got to be done today. So she's working on those. So I said, you know what? I'm going to hold down the fort for the Red Alpha podcast, Mugshot Monday podcast. And then you do your thing. And then as soon as I finish, I'll come help you do your thing. And because that's the way that we do it around here, right? It's like she helps me do my thing and I help her do her thing. We're a true partnership around here. If you guys don't know it, my wife and I, we are owner operators of Red Alpha Custom Prints, and so we've been in business going on 16 years, and both of us are full time. My wife joined me full time about 5 years ago, going on 5 years ago. And so, yeah, that's what we do. We live, we breathe, we eat, we do everything Red Alpha Custom Prints. Fun fact here: my favorite color used to be blue, but now it's red. And so, for obvious reasons, right? So you're gonna see me got some red shoes on. I got some red on my hat. I'm really feeling the Dad Gang. So shout out to the Dad Gang hat company out there. This is definitely I never growing up. I never wanted to be a part of any gang, right? But now I have no problem being a part of the Dad Gang, right? In fact, it's kind of a thing, an inside thing, like for all my sons and sons-in-laws. Whenever they become fathers, they get them a Dad Gang hat or gift from me, and it's just my little gang within our family that we're building. Hopefully, one day we'll be able to take a picture. Which I have an idea of the picture. It's good. It's going to be called the Sons of Red Alpha, right? So we're going to have like I'm kind of picturing a Peaky Blinders promotional poster type thing. We're dressed in the Peaky Blinders outfits. With the overcoats and the ties and I'll probably have a cigar in my mouth just for the sake of selling the deal. But it's going to be Sons of Red Alpha. We'll have my two grandsons there, and my sons-in-laws, my sons. and we're gonna, we're gonna do it good. We're gonna it's gonna be a great picture. So I'm trying to encourage them and motivate them to do it so that we can knock it out. I don't know who we go to take that type of picture, but I'm sure I got some friends that are photographers, or if you're not a photographer, you know a photographer, those kind of things. Actually, I just thought of a guy that I know that I could talk to, a couple guys actually, and so if you're listening to this and you're interested in that. I'm not sure if we can make it happen in Abilene. It might have to happen over there, either in Austin or the Lubbock area, but we'll figure that part out. But yeah, the Dad Gang is inspired the Sons of Red Alpha, and then we're gonna go, and then of course we got to do the family thing. So it's like, um, I call the family thing the Red Alpha Umbrella Academy, right? Whenever we got everybody, the daughters and the sons and the grandsons, it's like it's the Red Alpha Umbrella Academy. So, but yeah, we got a great show in store for you today. I do. I'm going to talk about the weekend we set up at the Cars for Cancer, um, car show that's put on by the World of Builds this past weekend. I'm going to talk a little bit about that. I'm going to announce the winners of the raffle. I'm going to announce that a little bit later on today, during the show, and then I'm going to talk about a topic that is kind of near and dear to my heart, about community, the importance of building community. I'm going to talk a little bit about that, and then I'm going to kind of fill you guys in on the next car show that's coming up. We're going to set up at another car show in about a month. So we're already, got the wheels turning on that. I'm actually going to become a bona fide car guy, and maybe an honorary car guy, right? So got some things going here in the near future, and you never know. Somewhere down the road, you may see me working on my own build so that I can be at some of these car shows, and then you better look out, right? So without further ado, like I always say, it can't be a Red Alpha Mugshot Monday podcast if I'm not talking about my coffee mug. And so I find myself coming to this coffee mug quite a bit, right? Because I'm in the coffee mug says walk by faith and not by sight. Coming off the scripture of Second Corinthians 5:7, and I find myself, and maybe some of you guys are in this part of your journey, in your relationship with God, right? I make no apologies. I am a man of faith. I'm a follower of Christ. I don't follow religion. I try to follow the Word of God, and I hear what you're saying if you're trying to preach to me, but I need to see an example in your life in order for me to even listen to you, and to follow you. You're going to have a lot of things in order. Whenever I was in the army, it wasn't so much about the rank, right? The rank gave you automatic respect. I wasn't going to disrespect the rank, but if you were someone who can't walk and chew gum at the same time, I'm not going to follow you. Sorry about that, right? And so that's just a little disclaimer right there. I am a man of faith. I'm not saying that I got it all figured out, but I try to be a good example, to my sons and to my daughters and my grandsons. They're not going to see me, strung out on this, or cheating somebody here, or doing things that I wouldn't want them to do. I try to lead by example, and hopefully I'm doing a good job. But that's just my thing. If I'm going to follow someone, I don't want to be bumping up against them, right? And so I say that only because there's a lot of Facebook pastors, a lot of Facebook preachers out there, bringing their story and stuff like that, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I just believe that if you do it without love, you're not going to get very many people that are going to follow you. And a lot of people, now you're starting to shine a spotlight on yourself. And so just make sure that you got everything taken care of. If you have to say the words, and I'm not perfect, it's one of those things. That's a bad thing to say, because everybody knows that you're not perfect, right? And so that's not the whole thing. People need to see the belief in you. They need to see it play out in your life, right? And so early on, I understand it's like, there's the scripture that says, you judge a tree by its fruit, and sometimes you don't have the fruit, right? But you can't always judge a person's life by the fruit that they have, right? Because they may still be in seed form. Maybe they're in the season where they're sowing, right? So maybe if you care about that person, instead of being critical and saying, "Oh, well, I don't see no fruit in their lives," maybe you get a little closer and you see what type of seeds that they have in their hand, because they may be planting good seed. And if you plant good seed, it's just a matter of time that you're going to see good fruit. And then before too long, it's going to be a harvest, right? It just works that way because in Galatians it talks about God not being mocked, right? Whatever you sow, that you will reap, right? And sometimes people use that to make people feel guilty, right? Like whenever you make a mistake, they say, well, you're going to reap what you sow, right? And like it's a bad thing, right? No, it's a good thing, because if you sow good seed, you have a good harvest, right? And in fact, if you're a good person and you're sowing good seed and your actions back it up, and you're not one person over here and then another person over there, right? And you sow good seed, it would create a mockery out of God's system for you not to reap a harvest, for you not to bear fruit, right? And so one way to find out if God is real is show it in your life. Bear fruit. Stick with it long enough for you to bear fruit. Because sometimes I think that people get into this thing and they think that, relationship with God, and they think that it's a get rich quick type scheme, right? Or get my life fixed quick type thing. It's a process. It's a process with God. And sometimes you will find yourself like I find myself right now, to where I really have to like embrace the lean not on your own understanding, right? And acknowledge God in all your ways. You got to trust him. Don't just be sold out on what it looks like, right? Give everything to God and know that he's going to make your crooked path straight. And I think one version says direct your path, and another version says crooked path straight. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't want to misquote the Bible, but I like the concept of make my crooked path straight. I was talking to my wife this morning, and I said the reason why I like that is because I need to invite God to walk with me, right? Because if he's just pointing the way and telling me where to go, I may go, I say, cool. So I just go down this way right here, and then I make a right, at the stop sign or at the stoplight, or mile marker or whatever. And so I just go straight and then turn there, right? I don't necessarily need God to be on the journey with me if he's directing my path, right? But if he's making my crooked path straight, that means that we are walking this thing together. And I like the idea of knowing that God has my back, knowing that he's with me. And maybe sometimes he's holding my hand. Maybe sometimes he's just like, hey, get up. Don't be stuck on the ground. Get back up. And then maybe he's doing that and encouraging me. And maybe sometimes he's just like, he helps me get back up, and sometimes he may say, hey, pay attention because you're about to trip over that stumbling block, right? And so when God is with me, I just feel a lot more confident knowing that he has my back. And so let me know if you guys are feeling that right there, just knowing that God has your back. But it takes a lot of walking by faith and not by sight, right? Just because you don't see it now doesn't mean that it's not there, or that it's not on its way or around the corner, right? I've seen God show up. I was having a conversation with a brother that came by last week, right? Came by, we were looking at his trailer and things like that. And so it was like I was having the conversation. I said, sometimes, right? God will take you on a journey to where you have to depend on him, where you have to lean on him, right? And you have to be able to put on like a different set of eyes to be able to see where he's trying to take you, or see the person that you can become, right? So imagination plays a big part in your relationship with God, right? Because if you can't see it in your mind, I don't know how you can become that in your reality, right? So faith, right, is something that it kind of forces you. It kind of forces you to kind of call things that maybe they don't look like it right now, but you're calling it. You're looking at the potential and you're saying that right there is a mighty warrior. That person is a great father. It's a great husband. And that he's a good business owner or whatever the case may be. So faith will cause you to speak at things as if they're already in their final form, right? But in reality, or in this reality, it hasn't got there yet, right? So it's still in seed form, right? So that's my coffee mug. Maybe I talked a little bit too much about that, but it can't be a Mugshot Monday podcast if we're not talking about coffee. A lot of times whenever I choose my coffee mug, I'm looking at what's on the coffee mug, and then maybe, like, I don't get a coffee mug that I don't like the saying, or it doesn't inspire me, or maybe I'm into the restaurant, or whatever the season. I got a bunch of different coffee mugs that say a bunch of different things, but I have very few that don't have a message, right? Even the ones that don't have a message are red, right? So it's like it's branding, right? So coffee mugs. It can't be the Mugshot Monday podcast without coffee mugs. And for those of you guys who are just tuning in, the Red Alpha Mugshot Monday podcast started out, as just me, trying to figure out a way to post something on social media. And so, I drink coffee every single day. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to do Mugshot Mondays, Red Alpha Mugshot Mondays, right? And so what I would do on Monday is I would post either a picture of the coffee mug with a little written note or something like that. I'd post that on social media, and then maybe do a little caption, that I'd write, or I'd be holding the mug like this, and a little caption, that type of deal. Which I'm very grateful for AI, because it's real easy now. You can just take a picture and then put it into Claude or ChatGPT, and well, actually ChatGPT, because it's got the image generator, and then be able to create an image that is social media. The quality is good on social media, and then we can do the Mugshot Monday. But it was through that I was like, you know what, I'm going to start a like talking, right? Not just taking a picture. I'm going to talk about some of the things that go on, right? Maybe behind the scenes stuff, right? And so we got a lot of stuff to talk about. Like we could do a weekend recap, those kind of deals, and so it just became we were recording on a green screen, and then I said, you know what, I want to start going live. I want to get some practice on doing that, because there's a lot of different things that I want to like explore in terms of doing like podcasting, if you want to talk about it. I have some deep wells that I can draw from, just because I've been living for a long time, been a father for a long time. I got grown kids and I got grandkids, and so I've learned a little bit of things along the way, right? You can't get gray hairs without having a little bit of wisdom. I'm not saying that I'm a wise man, but I'm saying that I've learned some things along the way. And so, let my family be the judge of that, or let the people who know me be the judge of that. I'm not going to pat my own back necessarily, but sometimes you might see me pat my own back, because sometimes you got to do it. Pat your own back. If no one wants to pat your back for you, pat your own back. Do whatever you got to do to make sure that you're always looking up and you're always looking forward, because that's how life progresses, right? And so I want to get into now that we talked about the mug, I want to talk about the next topic, which is the Cars for Cancer car show that was put on by the World of Builds. As you guys know, hopefully we set up a booth there at the Taylor County Expo, or the Taylor County Coliseum, depending on if you're looking at Google or Yahoo, right? It just depends. It's listed as both of them, right? So I'm going to call it the Taylor County Expo, because that's what their mama called it, right? Their mama named it the Expo, so I'm going to call them Expo, right? And so the Taylor County Expo It was the Worlds of Bills car show. It was a fundraiser for for a baby that was that is dealing with the form of cancer. I don't know the exact cancer because I'm not like a specialist in that, but I just know that cancer sucks, and so we wanted to be a part of this car show for two reasons, right? We number one, we're friends with the Beck family, so Creed Beck was putting on the show, and for the last 3 years we have been the banner sponsor, and so I have been telling him for 2 years that we were going to set up, and we didn't, and so this was the year for me to follow through on that commitment. And then after the show, I was like, hey, I'll be here every year if you'll have me. And so Creed said, I'm down with that. So if he's down with that, I'm down with that. So World of Builds, you're going to see Red Alpha. Chances are we're going to be the banner sponsor for those. And as it grows, we're going to grow. We're going to help it grow. We're going to promote it, and everybody's gonna fulfill their mission when it comes to the car show. But let me talk to you a little bit about our experience from the show. My wife and I, we showed up, about a little after seven, in between 7 and 8, to set up our booth. We have a 10 by 10 trade show display with a table, and it's branded out, Red Alpha, to where we promote. We primarily at a car show, right? Primarily, we're promoting our color change wraps, our custom wraps. Automotive restyling, which is going to be like stripes and little things like that. Window tint, which is coming in the future. Maybe paint protection. We'll start doing that now that we have our new shop on Oak Street. For those of you guys who don't know, we have moved our install operation into one of the shop areas for our friends at Premier Auto Custom, and so we've been there for, I don't know, a couple of months, I guess, and so we're just kind of building that out. We put our sign up a couple weeks ago, and as of this weekend, we got a new car lift that we're going to be using to be able to lift our cars so that I can get under there. I don't have to get on the floor anymore. I can get under there to work on the bumper or the tailgate, or on the pillars of trucks, things like that. So I'm excited about that. We got a new car lift. It's in the shop, but I haven't plugged it in or even started playing with it yet. But I hope to do that this week. We're so busy, so it's like, man, I gotta figure that out. But that car lift is going to be a game changer for us, and so I'm excited about that. And I mean, I'm just excited about how the pieces of the puzzle are coming together. Right? If you stick with it long enough, God will cause all things to work for your good. Right? If you're a quitter, you're not gonna. That's not going to be your experience. Right? And so hopefully you come into a relationship with God with some grit and some tenacity and some get up and go and some just some fire that's inside of you, because it's not an easy thing, right? It's not easy. God's going to take you out of your comfort zone. He's going to put you in a situation to where you have to depend on him, right? This past weekend, whenever we were doing a live demo. This was on Friday. I was doing a live wrap install demo, and I was talking to a young man, and he said, "Man, that looks like it would try your patience." And so anytime somebody talks about patience, I give them my perspective when it comes to patience, right? And so as a young man, I wanted to be more patient, right? So I prayed to God and said, Lord, will you give me patience? Right. And lo and behold, the way that God gave me patience is he made me the owner and operator of a print shop, of a vehicle wrap shop. Right. And you cannot stay in business as an owner operator of a print shop and not have patience. Trust me. Talk to anybody that is in the rap game. They're going to tell you, yeah, you got to be patient. And the only way that you get patience is you get put in the situation where you're wrapping a truck with some Oracal 970 RA material and it's hard, or like me, on Friday, you're trying to wrap a hood with some slight contours. It's windy outside, it's hot outside, and you're under a canopy and you're trying to record live. And not only are you trying to record live, but you're doing it with calendared vinyl 3160 RA, which is a no-no when it comes to wrapping hoods, right? And but you did something good, and you used some 1360 laminate that pairs with the Avery 1105 Supercast. Now I know those are just a bunch of numbers to those of you guys who aren't in the wrap game, but if you are, in the wrap game, you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? So that's how you get patience, right? I didn't necessarily think that it was going to be that hard, and it never works out that way, right? Every time you start a business, or you start a new, a worthy cause, right? You always think that it's going to be easier than what it is, right? And then you find out, what you're made of along the process. This is why I think that most businesses go out of business within the first 2 to 5 years. It's not that the person is not talented, it's not that they're not smart. They may have the resources, they may have the background, they may have the pedigree, they may have been born on the right side of tracks, they may have the education and all of that stuff. But you have to have something on the inside that is going to keep you going, that is going to help you get back up whenever you get punched in the face, right? Mike Tyson has a great quote. I believe it's his quote, but it's accredited to Mike Tyson, where he says, "Everybody has a plan until they get punched in the nose," right? And man, that's true, right? Because the plan could be perfect, but then are you going to be able to follow through with the next steps of the plan whenever, life and challenges and struggles are fighting you, right? It's not just going to say, oh, you have a dream. Okay, go right ahead, sir. Go right ahead, ma'am. It doesn't work that way. It does not work that way. You're going to face challenges after obstacles, and there's an old saying where it can't rain every day. That is true. It can't rain every day, but it could be hot as heck one day. It can rain today. It could be a tornado the next day. It could be a windstorm the next day. You can have an earthquake. You can have all sorts of things. But you are right. It can't rain every day. Right. But at the same time, it could be, sunny. It could be partly cloudy, with the, cool breeze. Sometimes it's like that too, right? But it cannot rain every day. Trust me. So that's encouraging, right? But sometimes the encouragement doesn't work, right? Sometimes you have to tell everybody, yeah, it can't rain every day, but you better be prepared for the flood. It might rain for a couple of days, and then now you're dealing with the flood, right? Or after that, it's going to be humid, right? And then windy and all that stuff. So you have to be prepared for all of that stuff. So man, so the car show was it was pretty awesome. So we went out there, and we set up our booth, and we met a handful of people that were going out there. Some of the vendors that were there, they were displaying, and so we got to talk to them, and we had some people in the community that came by, filtered through, and kind of asked us questions about who we are, what we do, and people with the Chamber of Commerce that came through and just kind of like, asked some questions and stuff like that. So we got some business cards, and then we had some people. Hey, I got a truck out there that is, I'm looking to wrap it. You want to come out there? So I went out there and looked at the truck and like, yeah, that's good. We can definitely do something like that. Another guy had a from a dealership. This was on whenever I was doing the live stream. He's like, hey, I want to do like a color change on probably on the hood and the sides. Can you help me with that? Yes, we can do that. But then we also had someone who's like, hey, let me get your card. I'm gonna try to get you in the door for our company, right? And come to find out that company has a huge fleet, right? A huge fleet, like something like 18,000. So if I get that job, I'm no longer gonna be doing the Red Alpha Mugshot Monday podcast. I'm gonna say peace. I got my thing for the next 10 years. I'll see you guys in 10 years. No, I'm just joking. I think I'll still do it, right? Because I'm going to hire people to do it. I'm not going to do 18,000 vehicles myself. Are you crazy? No. I'll do a couple just to, for social media, right? Like, hey, look at me. I'm doing a fleet of 18,000. But the truth is my son is going to be doing it, right? Somebody else is going to be, that's a young man's sport, right? And And so, but yeah, we when that guy came, I was like, you know what, I'm done. I'm just gonna go ahead and pack up and and then call it a day because I've already hit my quota. Because that's what you go to, whenever you're setting up these setting up at trade shows, right? Your hope is that you can meet potential customers, right? And meet people who can maybe point you in the right direction, right? That's the whole goal, right? And the way that I see it is I don't want to spend a lot of money, you know and to get a little money, right? I want to spend as little as I can and then get a fleet project of 18,000, right? I think we got some whistles from my man Lauren with Naughty Concepts. Got some 3D printed, so we got about, I don't know, 40 of those, right? We had some business cards and we got some candy that we put out there, and that's pretty much the expense that we did, right? So setup was real quick. That's important to me, right? I don't want to be setting up all day, right? And then not have a chance to talk to anybody, right? And so setup has to be quick. Has to be a low cost of entry to get in. And then to be able to justify my time, because being there costs my time, right? And so I could look at, okay, so I could have been doing this, I could have been doing that, and so I have to justify it with that right there. In order for me and my wife to be there, we have to see the upside, right? So it's not just a return on our investment, like financially, but it's like whenever you sow into somebody else's dream, into somebody else's thing, well, the law of sowing and reaping, it comes back to you, right? And so remember what I said in the beginning, it would create a mockery out of God's system, to where if you sow something, you don't reap the same thing, right? Every seed produces after its own kind. This is some wisdom. Let me see. This is some wisdom. I gotta do the sound effect. Yeah. That's some wisdom for you right there. Every seed produces after its own kind, right? So you'll never go into a field, right, and then sow apples and then expect peaches, right? It just doesn't work that way. And so if you sow kindness, you're gonna get kindness. If you sow friendship, you're gonna get friendship. But if you sow hate, if you sow sarcasm, whatever it is, you sow something negative, you're going to get that back, right? And so whatever you sow, it's going to come back to you. So you want to make sure that you got your bag of seeds, right? And you understand what you got in your hands, right? Don't just take a bunch of seeds and scatter them everywhere, right? That's kind of dangerous, right? It's dangerous when you have a bunch of different seeds and you're just scattering them away, right? I'll talk one of these days. I'll talk about something that I've learned along the way, as far as like the percentage of seeds that are in the seed packets and things like that. But today, what I wanted to touch on is just the sowing part, right? God is going to give you seed, right? And so you take that seed and you try to find some fertile ground, right? You put it in areas to where it is fertile, right? Because you want that seed to grow. You're never going to throw seed on concrete where it's not going to be able to take root and grow, right? You never want to do that when it comes to sowing and reaping. Now, sowing is different than charity, right? Sometimes whenever we give to charity, we look at that, oh, I'm sowing, so I'm going to reap. And so what we end up doing is we end up helping someone who can't help you back, right? And so that's different, right? Because charity, you can give to people, to whatever walk of life, right? It's out of the goodness of your heart, and God is responsible for bringing that right there. He's not going to necessarily, that person is going to come back and, hey, whenever I was down, you helped me, and here is the blessing. It's not necessarily going to be that, right? Whenever you're sowing in a direction to where it's considered charity, you're not looking for that thing to give you the fruit or to give you the harvest, right? That's something between you and God. You want to have a giving heart, be a cheerful giver. So that's one thing. But if you are looking to have a harvest or bear fruit in a particular area, when you sow seed, you want to sow seed in an area that is fertile, right? So the Cars for Cancer car show, right? The World of Builds, right? I know that I know the family that's behind it. I know the cause is good, and so I know that it's worth investing my time into something like that because I've seen it, right? And so I can look at the track record of the people who are running it, and then I can say, okay, this is good for me to be a part of it. I can sow into that, and I can expect something out of that, right? Number one, whenever we do the car shows, we want to be seen by people in the car, in the car show or the car enthusiast, field, right? So we aren't necessarily car people, right? But through these trade shows, I'm starting to get to know people that are car people, and then, through this process of me showing up for them, printing banners for them, doing live, installs at their events, and helping promote and bringing the directors of the event on our live stream to try to get more eyes on their event. Through that process, we start becoming honorary car people, right? And so whenever you put in that type of work, when you're sowing in that direction, you can expect fruit, right? And you can expect the harvest somewhere down the road, but it doesn't pop up right away. You have to sow for for a certain period of time. I don't want to say long period of time. You just never know. You just never know. But you just know that the type of seed that you have, it's going to bear fruit, right? Let me get a sip of water because I've been going off, right? So at the car show, we we also, like, for the 2 days before the car show, we announced that we were going to raffle off another, hood wrap and a rear window and a tailgate. But and I said that I was going to announce the winners on today's podcast, which I am. But for some reason, we didn't get any people to submit. There might have been something wrong with the link, or my post got shadow banned or something, right? We only had two entries, right? And so those two guys are both going to get their choice of whatever they want. And so I've already contacted both of them, but I wanted to announce their name on the podcast because I said that I would. So we're actually going to do another raffle for future car show, which I'll talk a little bit about that, and we're going to promote that longer so that way more people can get involved, and things like that, right? So it was my bad. We were busy, and so I actually just made one or two posts like the day before, and so I don't know. My expectations were a little bit higher, but then when I look back, I didn't put that much time into the promotion of the raffle, and so when you sow a little, you get a little, right? And so I'm actually fortunate and grateful for the two people that entered it, right? And so we're going to follow through with them just as we would if there were a bunch of people that entered. So without further ado, the first winner that came up is my man Superman. Superman is a great supporter of Red Alpha Custom Prints. He shares all our posts. He interacts with all our posts. I mean, he's been supporting us for several years now, and we've done several things for him. And he was one of the people that entered, and so it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that it may look like favoritism, but he signed up, and so if he has another vehicle, we're going to do it. So he said he's going to let me know, and he's going to be one of the participants for my live demo whenever we put that on. We're going to do a live demo. And then the next person is Angel Flores. Angel, congratulations. Let me see if I can get a cheerful congratulations. That's for both of you guys. Congratulations on winning the raffle. We got 50 people. And there you go. We're excited for you, Angel. Get in touch with me. I sent you an email, announcing that you're winning. But get with us. Let us know what you need, and then hopefully we can have you as one of the live demos too, for the upcoming car show. If not, then we'll work it out with you. But yeah, give us a call. Let us know which one you want. If you want the hood or the tailgate or the rear window, and then we'll design it for you and set up the install date and all that stuff. And so congratulations to our winners of the World of Builds Cars for Cancer the raffle that we did for them. Congratulations to you guys. For everybody who maybe tried this, if you tried to sign up and you were having problems, please let us know. I don't know if it was just a a glitch in the link. I don't know, but we only got two entries. So I'm hoping that I don't go look into my spam folder and see a bunch of entries, because that's not going to be right. But we only had two come into my inbox, and the last time we did it, they were all coming into my inbox. And so now that I think about it, I didn't look into my spam folder. So hopefully that's that's you know that's going to be a problem. I was looking at my message right here. There's a AI summary. Yeah, so I was like, hopefully that there's no contestants that submitted their entries, and it's all in my spam folder. But I'll check, and we'll see what we got to do. And I might pick another one. I don't know. And but yeah, so congratulations to the winners and of the car show. And speaking of car shows, we got another car show coming up towards the end of July. It is the Bops and Builds car show, and so we'll have some more information. I'm actually talking to both Chino and Samuel with Not Included Car Club, and we're going to try to get them on our live stream. Just got to work with their schedules, but we're going to do a live stream to talk about the Bops and Builds. We'll get to know those guys a little bit better. Hopefully, their audience will tune up so that I would tune in, so that way I can introduce myself to them. And so at the car show, we're going to have our setup again, and we're going to be installing right there live from the car show. So if you guys are attending, make sure that you follow us, so that we can, we'll kind of promote it. We'll let you know where we're at, and then the Not Included, the car club, they're going to be giving us promotions, announcing it on the speaker and stuff like that. Where we're at, and so we're going to choose two times. It's from 5 to 9, and so we're going to probably do maybe a 6 o'clock, and then maybe like a 7:30 or something like that. I also have to look at we're going to be outside, so I have to look at see what the weather is going to be like, the sun, what times the sun can go down and all that stuff. I say 6 and 7:30, but we'll see. I also am not going to do it with calendared vinyl. I'm going to go with some cast, so I'm going to make it easy on myself. And so hopefully the hoods aren't, if it's a hood, hopefully it's not too complicated. I'm going to be like, nah, let's do something easy, because I want to talk about it. I don't want to demonstrate, the art of long suffering, right? That is a fruit of the spirit, right? But I don't want to exercise or demonstrate the fruit of long suffering, right? I'd rather demonstrate the art of communication, and how the wrap install process should work. I'd rather talk about the tools that we use, and prospecting through the live stream, so that maybe you can see that I'm the type of person that you want to do business with, and then we can all be happy, right? We can all ride off into the sunset. You will have a nice new hood wrap or whatever it is, or car wrap, and then we will get paid, and then I'll be able to buy my grandson some new shoes or some toys, and then pay for my wife to get her nails done and her hair done, all that stuff, and then maybe I can buy me a hamburger if there's anything left over. That's all I desire, right? Just give me a good hamburger, give me some good chopped brisket sandwich, and then I'm happy, right? I don't need a lot, right? And some red shoes, yeah, maybe something like that, right? But yeah, so those are the raffle winner, the Bops and Builds. If you're connected with the Bops and Builds, send us a comment here. Let us know, a little bit about yourself, the vehicle that you're presenting, and things like that. Because if you're connected with us, you ask anybody. If you're connected with us, we're going to share your stuff. We're going to, try to help your business. And I'm not saying that I have this vast network of people, but I will say this. We pray for the people who are good to us, who do business with us, who bless us, we bless those people back any way that we can. So we're talking to people, we're referring your posts, doing that type of thing. And so that's just the way it is. We have good friends that always tag me or tag our business page whenever they see somebody looking for our services, and so I try to pay that thing forward, right? And so yeah, I mean that's just the one of the perks. It's a value added service of ours. Whenever you do business with us, we're going to be a blessing to you, right? We're not just going to be takers. We're going to give back to you. We're going to see what you're interested in, or what kind of events are you doing, and we're going to sponsor a banner. We're going to do something to be a blessing to you guys, and that's just the way that we do it. But lastly, and I think it kind of seamed into this right here. I wanted to take a moment and talk about the importance of community, right? Building a community, right? If you're in business with yourself, I mean, there's a quote that goes, "It's not what you know, it's who you know," right? And whenever I was younger, I kind of looked at that like, okay, well, I'm not going to have any opportunities in life, right? And so because I don't know the right people, or I wasn't born, in the right family, or I wasn't born on the right side of the tracks, whatever excuses that you make, right? So whenever I was younger, I kind of looked at it like, okay, so I don't know the right people, so I guess my opportunities are limited. But you meet people along the way, right? You meet people, and then those people don't stay the same, right? If you meet people who are still the same now as they were 20, 30 years ago when you met them. If you're my age, I'm 53, right? And so I don't hang around people who have not progressed or changed in their life, right? If you're not moving in a positive direction, it's hard for me to want to be a part of you, to be a part of your life. It's hard because I need to be around the right energy, people who are looking to move forward, who are trying to build something, who have a dream that they're chasing, or they have a mission in their life or a purpose that they were created for, and they're going for it, right? Because we won't have anything in common if you're just kind of you know living life, going wherever the wind blows you, and think it's hard for me to have a conversation with you, right? I try my best, but but when you're a person who has a dream, when you're a person who like is excited about something, well, man, I can come in and I can be excited with you. We can hype each other up, and it's always good to be hanging around people who are who have that same energy, who want to build, who see the vision, right? And want to contribute to make the vision better, right? So it's like it's good to be around those type of people. So you build the community that you want to be a part of, right? And so every community is different, right? I don't necessarily like want to talk down on certain communities, right? Because they serve a purpose, right? But there are just some groups of people that you won't find me around. And so it's just it. Like, I don't want to be fake. I want to be who I am. I want to be genuine. I don't want to have to make any apologies for the fact that I'm missing certain things, like maybe I don't have the education that you're looking for, or maybe I'm not driving the type of car that you want to see, or I don't dress the way, or I don't talk the way that you and your group talk. So if I'm not for you, I'm not going to try to force myself, but I can build my own community. And a lot of times it's through the clients that come to do business with me. A lot of times, if you look at our client base, they are our community. They're people that support the things that I support, and I support the things that they support. And we can have conversations outside of business, and we can talk about life. We can talk about God, and we can talk about dreams, and we could talk about sewing, and we could talk about a lot of things, right? And then they become your people, they become your community. And yes, that is a good thing. It's a good thing to surround yourself with good people, right? Good people who are going somewhere. Us as business owners, as a print shop, I need to surround myself with business owners, with leaders of programs, with parents that are part of the PTA, with teachers and principals and project managers and operation managers. I need to surround myself with people like that, right? Because those are the people that are going to need the services that I need, and so it's going to be a kind of a win-win situation. I can be an asset to you, and you are definitely an asset to me because you're helping me put food on the table, and like I said, buy my grandkids some toys and my me a burger, right? And so it just kind of works out that way. So it's important with building community, but if you don't have the courage to put yourself out there, right, then you can't expect the community to come back to you, right? One thing that frustrates me is whenever I see people from Abilene, right, who like feel entitled, right? They feel entitled to like a community, right? Uh, to be surrounded by people when they themselves aren't part of that community, right? And so, but then they go and they talk bad about the Abilene community. I had a great experience coming back. I was living in Austin, and so I was born here in Abilene and pretty much raised. I guess my freshman year, my family moved to Arlington, where I graduated from Arlington High. I got recruited into the Army and went off to a couple different places in the States, went off to a couple places, and then I came back. And when I came back, I settled in Austin. I was in the Austin area, if you want to call it. And so I was in Austin. I made friends and developed my community there through the people that I worked with, through doing things like playing softball and things like that. And so I grew my community, organically, just being a part of things, right? Being a part of other people's things, and then they become my people, right? And so I found that I was pretty good at being that type of person where I can network pretty good and I can hold a conversation in pretty much any room. It doesn't matter, what line of business they're in. I never went into a situation where I felt like insecure. It's kind of like I just look at people as people, and when you have that confidence, people look at you different, right? Whenever you walk into a situation and you got your head down and you're all shy and stuff like that, they can't help but look down on you. You're already down. You're already down. If you can stand up as tall as you are, right? If you can stand up and get your shoulders back, get your head up, look at people directly in their eyes, right? Give them a firm handshake. Those things still have value these days, right? And you can look somebody dead in their eyes and be dead serious about the product and service that you are, and you don't have to worry about their validation. If they're not into what you're going, that's their loss, right? That's the way I look at it. Right. If you don't want to buy a banner or a vehicle wrap or something from me, that's your loss. It's not my loss because I know that I got the best stuff. Right. And so that's the way that I look at myself. I have that type of confidence, and I'm not going to water down myself to make other people feel comfortable, right? And so that's how you kind of develop the people who are meant for you. If you have to go into a situation and you have to dim yourself down so that other people feel comfortable around you, you're in the wrong place, right? You should be in a place to where you can shine as bright as you can, shine as bright as you can, and it doesn't keep other people from shining, right? When it comes to my home, when it comes to my children, I don't need to be the brightest shining light, right? I want to encourage everybody to shine, but none of my kids are telling me, Dad, you're shining too bright. I can't shine because I didn't raise a bunch of wimps, right? I'm not married to a wimp, right? My wife lets me shine as bright as she can, and I let her shine as bright as she can, and I encourage her to shine as bright as she can, and that's just the way it is. We don't try to dim each other's shine down so that we can feel better about ourselves, right? It's just kind of like it just kind of feeds our each other whenever we do that. And so that's the way that I look at my community. You'll find in my community the people that come close to me, they all have similar mindsets, right? You won't hardly see me like in the same room with someone that is defeated or negative or that kind of deal. It's like if you're not positive and optimistic and full of faith, chances are, I'm not going to be around. But if you show me, and you don't have to have all the things, in place. But if you're positive and you have a positive outlook in life and you believe that God can turn things around, man, I'm going to be there, right? It doesn't matter what you're going through right now, right? Because I don't walk by sight. I walk by faith. And it doesn't matter what it looks like. I know that God can turn it around. I know that I'm one phone call away. I'm one Red Alpha Mugshot podcast show away from getting a fleet of vehicles or establishing a contract with another company, to do their fleet management or whatever the case may be, right? But at any moment could be the blessings of the life. So the next step can be a like the step that I've been praying for, right? And so that's the way that I look at everything. And this morning I was like, I was reflecting on a lot of things, right? But the importance of being surrounded by the right people, the community that you build, it's going to be a reflection of who you are, right? And so if you're a good person, you're going to be surrounded by good people. If you're a bad people, you're going to be surrounded by haters, and that's just the way it is. I see a lot of people. I don't know if it's just because it's popular or they actually have haters, but I see people posting all the time, haters this, haters that, and I'm like, are these the same haters from last year? Because I mean, what's up? What are you doing in that around them, right? I probably have people who don't like me, but I don't have any haters, right? Because I don't get that close. I don't let them close to me, right? If you're close enough for me to hear you, then I haven't moved, right? I know it's popular to say that if you don't have any haters, then you're not doing anything. I don't know if I subscribe to that, right? I don't know if I subscribe to that because if you need haters to motivate you, is it really motivation, right? Because if I was your enemy, I would just put people in there that are going to tell you what you want to hear, right? They're going to applaud you for doing nothing, right? I'm going to surround you with people like that. If I was your enemy, that's what I would do, right? Because you need a hater to get you to do anything, right? And so that's not real motivation. That's not living a purpose-driven life, right? That's just a reaction to what somebody else thinks about you. And if you're so insecure that you have to be validated by everybody that's around you, well, chances are that might be a magnet for haters, right? And I don't got no time for haters, right? I just, maybe they're there, maybe they're not. Same thing with aliens. Maybe they're there, maybe they're not. If I don't see it, I don't know, right? If it's not going to help me get to where I'm going, then I don't need to put my faith in it, right? Because it's not going to help me. It doesn't help me to know that I got haters, right? And so maybe it helps you, but I don't see the reason in wasting your energy, right? Life is too short to waste your energy on people who don't like you anyway. So surround yourself with people who like you'd like to hang around with, and then man, it's pretty cool whenever the people that do business with you, you can actually see yourself, going out to eat and hanging out, maybe watching a UFC fight, drinking a beer, whatever the case may be, right? And so it's one of those things. Let me decline that right quick. Not going to do any co-hosting right now. And so, yeah, it's surround yourself with community, right? Community is everywhere, right? You don't have to go in and be, a reject, a socially awkward type thing, right? You can go into, someone else's community and just kind of see, if it's the like the young kids say, see if it's the vibe that you're looking to be a part of, right? And if it is, then participate, and then kind of go from there. That's kind of what we're doing with the car shows. It's like, I'm not trying to be a poser, Do y'all still use words like that? But I do want to be able to rub elbows with the community that we do business with, right? And so I've been printing banners and stickers and decals for the car community here in Abilene for a long time, right? And actually we print for a lot of different communities, right? And so I want that community, every one of those communities, to actually see me and then talk to me face to face and not just see me online. So we're looking for opportunities to set up booths in different areas. I think we're slowly establishing, the connections that we need within the car culture, and so we're going to continue to cultivate those relationships and just be a good person, right, and just help out where we can and not try to force anything, right. We're just going to let it take its let nature take its course and let it be an organic thing, right. And we're going to show up whenever we say we're going to show up and try to do the best that we can to help prop up the event. And but then we're looking for another one after the bops and builds. We may look for one more. We're hoping that our friends with Running Back Classics is going to do something, so that way maybe we can set up there. So Ray, if you're listening, let me know, man. We are still interested in setting up at one of your trade shows, and love to be a part of that. So, but anybody else, if you have a trade show that you got going and you'd like to, have a conversation with us to see if we're a good fit for it, let me know, and then we'll take it into consideration. But man, I think that I've talked about everything on this list. I made a short list, and man, I can write down a couple of things and talk for hours, right? But I want to let you guys go because I know that you got jobs, you got things that you got to do, you got giants that you got to kill, and you got hurdles that you got to cross, and dreams that you got to chase and do all that stuff, right? Well, so do I. My wife should be at a good point with those vests that she's working on, so I'm going to help her knock them out, and then we're going to go from there. But that's going to be it for now. I'm going to sign off. It's been it's been a pleasure talking to you guys. It's been another episode of the Red Alpha Mugshot Monday podcast. Tune in every Monday at 9 o'clock, and we'll be here in the future. We'll be here in the future, and TikTok makes me puzzle pieces into place. TikTok is making me log off. Let's see. Uh, Boom. There it is. TikTok was making me do this puzzle thing, and I'm trying to sign off. But anyways, that's Ruben with Red Alpha Custom Prints with another episode of the Red Alpha Mugshot Monday podcast. Signing off TikTok, signing off Facebook and YouTube. Tune in next week, Monday at 9 o'clock, for another episode where we're going to talk about our weekend shenanigans. It'll be 4th of July, so we'll talk a little bit about that and whatever else is going on behind the scenes. Red Alpha out.